time they connect, it's going to be a serious opportunity.
And it looks like we are not getting Kazuya as we had earlier in bracket. Instead,
Ryu.
Anality leading off with Ryu. So it is going to be a difficult climb here for Br1 if the stats have anything to say about it. But considering the run he's been making on the loser side of bracket, you know he's going to make this a difficult victory. At least he's going to win 2 sets here. Anality already sitting on the winner side of bracket.
Trying to get in on the Hadouken. It's tough.
Oh, really?
It's tough.
That's basically, I've talked to a couple of Ryu Ken mains. They basically tend to swap between them, or at least the top players that I've talked to. And a lot of them like unanimously believe that Ryu is the better camper. And right now, Ryu can't actually get back. Br1 intercepting that aggressive up B with a spike. And Anality hit the edge, had the opportunity to tech, but couldn't get it off.
Not at all. And that's a great start in this grand finals campaign for Br1. Can they turn it into more? Here's Anality. Decent job with the fireballs, but nothing too dramatic just yet. A couple of low kicks followed by the Tatsu. And Anality holding center stage.
I love the parry sounds from Ryu, by the way. That's like just that little addition that they did for the Street Fighter characters, and Ryu and Ken just make these characters safe when they actually have good defensive gameplay. Does get the back air to get that stock for Br1, only 40%. And after such an early kill from Br1, you have to be a little bit disappointed in your inability to rack up a little bit more extra credit there.
Yeah, it really feels like it's an opportunity that has been lost to now Anality, much like we saw in the Kazuya earlier. A brick wall that's just waiting for you to make a mistake. And they're going to make you make those mistakes with their spacing.
And he's doing a really good job of varying the speed of his projectiles, too. Sometimes he tosses out the fast one. Sometimes when he sees Br1 trying to jump in and beat reverse a grenade, he tosses out the slow one just to claim additional space and counter that aggressive approach option for Snake.
And it's kind of weird, right? The Snake has to approach.
It feels like Br1, he definitely feels like he has to approach. I don't necessarily know if he needs to, though. Like, that's the problem, is that the second that he goes in, you can't trade as Snake in this matchup because every single one of Anality's aerials can be canceled into Shoryu. And so you're just allowing this man to set up his kill confirms a lot easier.
Okay. 1 stock left for Br1. Bear in mind, this is true double elim. You don't really want to go 1 match down in your double best of 5, potentially. Because that means you've then got to win 6 out of your next 8 games.
True. It feels like, also, it depends on the player, too, that's in winner's bracket, because a lot of players will like to just, like, use that first set. They'll play their secondaries, or they'll try to get some data on how you're approaching them, and then just go hard on that second set. But Anality right now looks like he's playing to win. It doesn't look like this is a character counter pick where he's trying to do a secondary, something suboptimal, because look at the punish. He gets that focus into the immediate kill confirm. Snake was at mid% right there. It doesn't matter. Anality knows exactly what he needs to do to tack on all the damage necessary to finish with the true Shoryu.
Yeah, that is a little bit unfortunate, and it's now even more so than it was an uphill battle right now for Br1. We are potentially 2 games away from wrapping up the 74th edition of the Lagspike. Anality looking strong, looking every bit as good as the matchup data had told us. 33-9. That looked like 33-9 to me.
It just, the worst part is that Br1 had the first stock relatively early. Like, that down there was exactly what he needed to seize control of this set, but he just failed to continue to build off of it. Anality just clawed his way back. And yeah, that is sending a signal for sure in game 1. Br1 has to make something happen here in game 2. You do not want to go down, like you said, GFD, you desperately don't want to go down 0-2 when you can win 2 sets.
Yeah, that's just going to be, it's just not going to be fun. I'm going to tell you right now, 70% to 0 Anality. So formidable right now.
He just got exactly the correct answer. The down tilt into the down smash to clip that attempt on the up B. Neutral can't get the up B confirmed, but still 128 to 0. This is a long 0 to death potentially, GMT. The grenade breaks it up, though.
Just about, but I mean, it's 20% to 145. Anality still has that option if he wants to walk away a little bit, shoot some fireballs, and a full charge down smash, not even punished by Br1.
Couple projectiles landing there, but Br1 still stuck in the corner, still pressured by those Hadoukens. Can't land the back air, and look at the patience by Anality. He's just looking at everything. Finally, misspaces ever so slightly with the down smash, but just no fear in trying to box Snake close up.
I mean, it's funny you just used that word. What I was going to say is not the spacing from Anality, but the fear from Br1. Just going, I don't know what hitbox you're going to throw out. I'm not even going to try, steering clear. And well, I think having that sort of fear, that sort of hesitance is going to come back to bite you as Anality. Once again, racks up the percent.
That was a bit of a panic air dodge too by Br1 in that landing situation right there, and Anality got quite a bit of damage off it. It just feels like most of the damage that Br1's getting are trades, and that's not unusual for Snake. But you can't survive off of trade when you're down to stock. You need to just seize control. You need to add some damage, and you need to take these stocks in a timely fashion. Does finally land the up tilt there to grab that one, but this is dangerous. True Shoryu out of something like a down tilt or an aerial may very well threaten the stock in the next 5 to 10%.
92% and the lead.
And as a Zangief player in Street Fighter, I've been in this situation before when Ryu decides he doesn't want to fight you, and when he starts tossing out those projectiles, this character gets a little bit frustrating, and you can kind of see it in Br1. Like, he's approaching really reluctantly, because he's like, I shouldn't have to do this. But Anality has the projectile war won.
Yeah. Snake would love having EX hand right now.
Oh my
to
god,
just
give me
get
EX
through the
back.
Hadouken.
Give me that back, I want it.
Ooh, it's looking rough. It's looking real rough. His Anality is just this wall at the moment.
I'd like to see perhaps Br1 try to crawl in a little bit more. Snake has a really good crawl that sends him lower than those regular Hadoukens. I think the EX ones do perhaps clip him, but you can kind of time your crawls there. And then the grenades do clash with these, so perhaps you can try that out. But look at that double down tilt into the side B. The Tatsu very nearly killing at 150. Is that a sticky? It was. Is it passed on to Snake? Doesn't matter. The Tatsu again pitching the stuff.
Dios mío. This is how you want things to go if you're a Br1 fan, or indeed the person that bet on him to win this grand finals. That was me.
But Anality is, he's not completely valuable. Look at this right now. Br1 does get a little bit of a string going, manages to send Anality high, and punishing landings is something that Snake does with aplomb. So if you can toss Anality up, if you can get him into disadvantage, then Snake can certainly capitalize. The problem is just Anality. Look at his spacing. He's jumping away in Snake's face, just daring Br1 to hit something unsafe. And so far, Br1's been obliging.
Yeah, pretty much. And you just wonder how it's ever going to turn around as Anality throws these fireballs time after time after time. And it looks pretty casual for them at the moment. It feels like they're being aggressive, defensive, almost at random, just switching gear because they can. And it's always ending up pretty successful.
Yeah, he's not being careless with his aggression, and that's like the big thing is when you try to change up your playstyles, you need to make sure that your offensive gameplay is just as flawless as your defensive gameplay. And Anality so far has not shown a flaw in either one of those two styles. Good down tilt. I love that up tilt to push their shield away and then immediate down tilt afterwards. It's just such a good spacing tool.
Okay. Anality will just about evade the rocket, and now looking for one really strong hit, and it could well be curtains. All the low kicks in the world. Roll out from Snake. Here's the fireball, though, and now at the edge, a little bit scary. The spot dodge, the Tatsu. Oh, dear.
I think Anality baited that. Anality was holding shield for a while. He knew that Snake at 160 has that down throw into up tilt kill confirm, so he knew that if he got grabbed, he was dead. The problem is that Snake's initial dash, not that fast, so Ryu was able to react to the dash-in attempt by Br1 and then get the hard punish kill confirm off of the true Tatsu. And that was a dominant game to Br1. He's being pushed to the limit here in set 1 of Grand Finals.
Yep. This is rough. Let's see what you can do then. We are heading into what could well be our last game of the day, unless Br1 can bring it back and do something very special indeed. But already, Analyty's setting the pace.
It's just he's using these projectiles, and Br1 has to just jump over him. And when he jumps over him, that's when Anality can respond with things like up air, with that lingering neutral air, or he can just try to go ahead and intercept with more projectiles. He has so many options. Meanwhile, Snake, if you want to jump into Snake, you're either jumping with the forward air or jumping with the grenade. Your options are far more limited.
And it feels like jumping in is a either lose or not lose situation. It's not a lose or win situation. It's like, yeah, okay, you got over the projectile. You're still not an advantage. You still
it's a
have
very
to
risky
work.
Proposition. Yeah. Good parry eye there by Anality, and he's just content to hold center stage. There's that crouch I told you about, where you can kind of work underneath the projectiles. Ida coming out, double grenade, and just look at the angle that these grenades are getting hit away at. They're like falling on the platform, and they're risking Br1 getting hit by his own projectiles. Like he just, even when he clanks with Analyty's shorty or Hadouken, it's just not working out too well. The shorty taken stock 1, only 60% on Anality.
Right at the edge. Not an issue. Anality will get caught by that though. Coming in now with all the low kicks with the Tatsu. Is there going to be more? No, back away. Fireball now. Wall again. There's the low kick into the fireball.
He's been sticky though. He's been. Oh no! I think he actually transferred it.
Oh, nah.
Who's got it? Okay, it went back to Anality after all of that. That's these C4 shenanigans. You have to be so careful on like catching it. And Ryu with like the dark D. It's so hard to tell. Great punish right there by Br1. So you can focus one hit, you can't focus multiple hits. So you just tapped him once in the forward air, and then immediately got the up tilt that you needed.
Okay, there's the Tatsu, 137, 138 actually, and yeah, just trying to get back on stage could well be a little tricky. Ryu needs to hit one solid hit, and or maybe Snake will do the job for himself as Anality looks for the low kick, looks for the explosion, and onto your own grenade, son. It's not a good look.
He just knocked him back.
So good.
He knocked him back, and Snake just kind of stood there for a split second. Like he was in hit stun. He couldn't move. He had to just look at his grenade. Untechable right there is that back air sent Snake at an angle that he couldn't do a damnable thing about. Unfortunately, I think those red sparks means you can't tech, means you can't do anything but die.
We do not tech those.
Can't tech
do
those.
not. Okay, do or die now, Br1. This is it. This is your tournament life on the line, and it could well be very short-lived indeed as Anality turns up the pressure. Now looking to engage himself. Fireball is their focus attack, but actually gonna get caught out center stage, and that is bold. That might even be a bit arrogant. 96%. Br1 needs to win this, and a whole hell of a lot more as well. Can he do it?
And here's the thing, no more rage on Ryu means that Shoryu may not necessarily kill for a little bit longer, so you are giving Snake the opportunity to start chipping you away, but right now, Br1 getting hit by his own projectiles, kicked in the teeth, and that will finish it. Anality waited for Br1 to land aggressively, floated back down with a grenade in his hand, and just kicked that man to the depths.
And that is that. Anality with a clean 3-0 in the grand finals will be winning this, the 74th edition of the Lagspike. And we thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations to Anality. Commiserations to Br1.